Good day everyone, GarageKing here, and on today's episode we are going to review the Hazet 190L toolbox. Now I just wanted another toolbox. This one's going to have a pretty easy life. It's just used for some storage, so it's not going to be a really heavy duty usage. And one of the reasons I really wanted to buy it was I really like the color grabber blue, and this toolbox reminded me of that color. Now you can see here the box it came in is 30 inches long, so a huge box. So I'm really hoping that it's a box within a box just for shipping and just to protect it overall. Now, one thing I should notice is when I was doing my research online, because I always do my research online, I noticed some people had made comments that this was even better than the Snap-on box. So I couldn't believe that. They said it's better than Snap-on or Matco, so I'm thinking, wow, that's pretty good. And it did have an overall really good rating. And yes, as you can see here, it is a box within a box. Now, in terms of pricing, it was like half the price as the Snap-on box, because you saw there the Snap-on box was just over 200 bucks, and this one's just over 100 bucks. But as you can see here, it doesn't ship to Canada. You have to go on Amazon.ca, so anyone in Canada has to pay 250 bucks. So what a burn. I just think that's too much. So if you have a US mailbox, I would just order from the US and get it delivered there. Now the other boxes I was thinking of was this Trusco box, and I still might buy it because it's made in Japan, seems really cool, but it was kind of pricey at 230 bucks. But I did find a smaller one. It's about half the size of the Hazet, and that one is only 64 bucks. So I may even just buy that one, maybe do a little comparison, but we'll see. Okay, so let's speed things up and get this bad boy out of the box. Now the one thing you're going to notice, actually I have the box here upside down, I just got to spin it over for you here, is you'll notice this red label right on the top. Please pay attention or you're gonna have people crying because it is tight in the box. So you just got to be really, really careful when you're opening up the top of the box. Now, as you can see here, when I first opened the box, take a look at where the arrow is. I did get a little scared. I thought the paint was rubbed off, but you know what? It actually isn't. It's just kind of like dust from packaging, and it all did come off. I know it doesn't look there perfect in the video, but it did all come off. So everything thankfully was okay there. Okay, so now let's take a close look and look at the quality of the toolbox. Well, the paint is pretty good. There's a few scuff marks, you'll see there. Now I wanted a German-made toolbox, German quality, but this toolbox, it's actually made in Poland. German company Hazet, but the toolbox itself is made in Poland, but I'm still okay with that. I just really wanted a Hazet toolbox, and like I mentioned before, I did really like the color. So quality-wise, I think it's really good. The one thing I did notice, and I wanted to point it out here, hopefully I can get a good shot with the camera, is there was a small little dent here. Let me pan around here just for some better lighting, and you'll be able to see it here if I focus with the camera. And hang on. There we go, right there. So you can see there was a small, I don't know, something for manufacturing or dent. I mean, none of the paint's obviously chipped or anything like that. So I'll just have to live with that. I'm not gonna send it back. It's not worth it for that. But other than that, everything looks really good on this toolbox. So let's open it up. Now, I was pleasantly surprised to find a lock. It says Top Tools on it. I didn't actually expect to find any lock or anything like that in it. It's just a cheaper lock, but anyway, it was a nice gesture. It came with a lock, and I'll have to clean out that tape. The lock was actually taped to the toolbox. Okay, now this is a cantilever toolbox. So anyone that knows cantilever toolboxes knows that when you push down, it should open. And you can see me here, I'm pushing down now. I don't want to wreck it and I don't want to bend anything, but this toolbox is very stiff when it's brand new, and I can tell it's all probably never been opened before. So here's what it looks like when it's open. It's actually quite nice, but it is very stiff. So, I mean, that's just one of the things I'm gonna have to live with. And hopefully over time it will just loosen itself up. I don't want to spray it with a bunch of oil or anything like that because I'm afraid I might discolor things. So as you can see here, the trays have about 2 inches of depth. Now take note, the top tray, it's kind of like a bit of a trapezoid. Here, I'll zoom out so you can see it's a bit of a trapezoid. Now the center tray is a square, so you're getting about 2 inches of depth on the center tray. Now if we go into the bottom, I guess, actual big toolbox piece, if you want to call it that, you got about 4 inches of depth. So that's really good. And then if we measure the width down here, you got close to 8 inches. Now, how tall is it? Same thing, it's about 8 inches tall. And there you go, there's another shot from the top showing 8 inches. And the length, however you want to call it, I guess 20.5 to 21. It just depends if you want to keep the cantilever stuff included in that measurement or not. Now, the one thing, like I said, I'll just go over, again, is just this toolbox is really stiff. And I mean, that's okay. Hopefully it just loosens up over some time. I did watch one video where a guy put a bunch of penetrating fluid and like banged it around and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't really want to do that because I'm afraid that the paint will come off and it'll just get discolored. So I really don't want to do that. But anyway, in a nutshell, here it is, my new toy. Nice little toolbox to store things. It's the Hazet 190L toolbox. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. I hope to see you next week. And if you have any questions or comments, by all means, leave them below. I check all my comments. Thanks, everyone.